The waters remember, the rivers remember, before the clocks, before the counting, before the time hijack. There was only flow. The white rainbow rises, the living waters call us home. Who remembers? I made a rivers, oceans wide, a living sea.
No mai, haere mai e te whānau. Welcome to the Wednesday Wisdom Circle. It's like today is like the heart of the waters really coming online. Also going to be connecting with that flow state tonight and the living plasma, plus this timeline, dreamline that we're in, like it's time to shift it because we're so ready for the next piece. Yeah, there's quite a few people still stuck in that trauma and still in the chrysalis phase, but yeah, we are definitely riding the super wave. We're coming out of that whole phase, and it was an evolutionary stage and phase. So yeah, here we are in a beautiful shiny space. Thank you for showing up. You're awesome. You're all part of this beautiful whānau that just keeps growing and expanding. Super excited about that. So I'm your host, Nani T, Te Raukura Tūruki, broadcasting from the Kopu Temple of Kopu Mu. And it's also connected to the Blue Diamond. So we have Blue Diamond frequencies beaming to you from the waters, from the sacred waters. And we also have my co-host, Granny Anhara, beaming to you from Taupo Nui Atia, the Blue Diamond Lake of Aotearoa, right in the heart-shaped supervolcano. That is so cool. I love sharing that. And so I'm just going to do a little cleansing ceremony, and tonight I'm going to be using something slightly different to Palo Santo. Going to be using some incense because we can, and this is my favorite incense actually. It's one of my favorites. It's the what do they call these? It's the super hit, like Satya, the super hit Satya. So here we go. So bringing in the clearing of our fields above us, below us, before us, and behind us, within us, and without us. Te kotahitanga o te mu, e te wairua tapu, ko ka hutia mātou i tō aroha, whakakotahitia na iwi kato, e raro i te rangi kotahi, ka hoki, te oranga, katou, te rongo, ko te hā o te mu, e manawatia. Tūturu whakamaua ki a Tina. Haumi e, hui e, tāhiki e. Yay! You all remembered. Awesome. And welcome, Kat. Kat Stars. We've got this lovely Catherine on your screen, so we can always change that if you would like. That's easy peasy. Yeah, I'll change it right now. Cat Stars. And we've all had our Moo groups now set up, and we've all got names to the groups. Our group, I've been put in the group called Moo Stars. So Cat Stars, I probably stole it from you, Kat. I was the one that suggested it. So, and thank you, Rachel, for feeling it too. So, yeah, this is definitely a time to celebrate. I feel there's lots of different portals opening up. We're so close to the Lions Gate, only a couple of days away. It is Jenny's birthday on the Lions Gate as well, everybody. And then the day after, it's Anhara's birthday. So those two are sharing this huge frequency together. And, like they're both total lions. This is one of the reasons why I'm really enjoying bringing these images and these little videos that I've created, because it's time for lions play. And I'm loving wearing all these liony kind of play tones, which feels really good. Okay, the Moo Group info. Okay, you probably still haven't been contacted, Natalie. We've assigned all the people to different groups, and let me know also if you may have been overlooked. I don't think so, because I did go through the list how many times. Jeez. It's like, oh my gosh, how many times have I counted? How many times? So, yeah, you would have been assigned to a group, but sometimes it's a little bit of a process, because the people who are doing the groups have actually needed to get friends requests from everybody so that they can access you. And so check your friends requests, because you may very well have a friend request in there from the person who's in leadership. So we've got 5 leaders that are stepping up into those roles as the new Mama Bears of Moo. And yeah, that feels like a really good name, actually. The Mama Bears of Moo. And so, yeah, tonight we're going to be working with these the heart of the water frequencies, and yeah, bringing our own intelligence into the water. But also, I have a lens that I'm really wanting to bring this through, and that's the Waitaha lens, how they speak about these living waters and the consciousness that's connected to that. So I'm really looking forward to bringing that to you. But in the meantime, you love the Mama Bears of Moo. I do too. It feels like a warm hug. Yeah. So cool. And so, Anhara, sister, yeah,
Kia
over
ora,
to
kia ora.
you.
Yeah, kia ora e te whānau. Um, wow, that's all I can say. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about everyday wānanga. So I've been doing my affirmations. I talk about it. It's actually through Carmel Riley, the Maramataka astrologer, and she put me onto it. And I've been manifesting quite a few things actually. It's been super cool. But I looked at affirmations, and they tell the universe what you want in your life and what you are and what you seek. And so I am in the process of doing the 101 days, which is 8,888 affirmations for exponential change. So it's a big climb. But then yesterday, my friend brought out her affirmation books and dumped them on a table, because we have Swapsy healing with other healers on a Tuesday. It's a receiving day. And each booklet, so there were 6 of them, had 5,500 affirmations in each book. And so I added that up, it's 33,000 affirmations. And so I thought the universe just gave me some help, right? And that it isn't that big. It isn't that hard for us to do things. We can achieve it together. And so I wanted to share that. The other thing too, I've been having multiple fated meetings. And one of my theories is that we're merging through 0 point field and through the 0 point. And so I met this lovely lady today whose mother studied in a mystery school. She's passed over. But we started talking, and like the thing is actually trying to find something that we have in common, right? When we start to talk to people and use our communication, to find out that we had a lot in common. And she told me that her mother had this, what they call the sacred tarot deck. And I know about, and it was all hand painted. They're all hand painted cards. And my ears kind of went up because my auntie taught me a lot about this sort of stuff, and many, many years ago. And to find out that her mother belonged to a mystery school. And that was another prophecy that I made. Some time ago, Te Raukara remembers, I said, all the mystery schools are going to merge and all the knowledge will come online and we'll have access to it. But we can cheat and we know everything's in the quantum field anyway. But, but I mean, in the physical, right? And so I had a little look into this one that she said, and I won't share it at the moment without her permission. But so we know that with the tarot, the original teachings went underground in the dark ages to keep them safe. So a lot of it was in this mystery school was the Holy Kabbalah, the Hebrew teachings. Yep, I followed those. Symbols, numbers. Yep. The tree of life. Yep. Color, sound. Yep. Ageless wisdom. And I was actually trained in a mystery school myself and am a priest in that mystery school. And anyway, that just means service to humanity, basically. So they also taught balancing and integrating opposing forces within us. And they had 9 universal language that awakened within us about who we are. And our deepest dedication is to work with others in community. Yep, that's us. So that we may become a channel, a body of light for humanity. And if you look at the light body and how we merge the light body with the physical body, that really is it. We're becoming a body of light. We're glowing for humanity. So they work with the teachings of Thoth or Tot and the emerald tablets. Yep, we work with that. We work with that. And so I looked into the emerald tablets of Tot again. He was an enlightened being, the esoteric traditions, philosophical teachings, and so he was an Egyptian god of wisdom, writing, and sacred knowledge. We follow a lot of Egyptian stuff. An enlightened teacher to help humanity awaken. They describe the soul's journey toward enlightenment and spiritual mastery. That's us. They teach that everything in the universe is interconnected through universal laws. These are LORESs too. They encourage seekers to move beyond fear, ignorance, and illusion to discover their true divine nature. They speak of a higher dimensional sacred geometry, vibration, light, and sound as creative forces. I personally work with that too in my sessions, and we work with that full stop. They emphasize balance between mind, body, and spirit, and the importance of living in harmony with universal principles. We do that. Essential message is that wisdom is gained through inner experience, self-mastery, and conscious evolution. So basically it's following the Hermetic tradition. And these people have been coming into my lives. I heard again the other day, some other people we journey with here, they talked about basically the Tauhara retreat, and way back, the people followed the Hermetic traditions. And these are higher wisdom. See, it's everywhere. It's the same thing, packaged in the same way. But it's all about community. It's so powerful. So the Hermetic traditions are as above, so below, as within, so without. This expresses that the patterns of the cosmos are released within each person, and that understanding oneself helps in understanding the universe. Their wisdom tradition is named after Hermes Trismegistus, which is basically, some people say it is they are one and the same person.
Tough.
Following the same teachings. Yeah, same. So that was that download today, and I'm going, oh my gosh, right, we're going to meet. She's going to show me these cards, and I have to ask her if I'm allowed to share them. at some point, because I know they hold the original true teachings as well, and I'm really excited about that. My other fated meeting was on Sunday. I just had to leave my market stall and I had to go to the wharipaku. And right in this moment, I said, guys, I've got to go right now. And I've been trying to find this wahine. We had a big, deep connection at a wānanga, and I found it hard to get hold of her. Anyway, I was walking across the road to go to the whare, and her car went straight in front of me like that. And she had a window down. And she goes, oh, my God. And we met each other. And then I took them to Topol Spiritual Collective, and they hung out. They would have been kai. But I want to talk about what we did there later. It's something else that's pretty special, that it's called the flow. So I'll just put down the rākau for now and let you kōrero. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Kia ora, sister. Beautiful. Yes, following on from that, and the wisdom teachings from the ancients and the mystery schools, and not all mystery schools are done through, I guess, traditions in perhaps a slightly more academic sense, because a lot of the stuff was recorded and there was protocols and systems, but for the systems that I'm referring to as the systems of Waitaha, and which was star law, anatomy, and physiology, and on a different, wider level. So there was the really deep gnosis that took place of just the knowing, sensing, and that being passed down, like listening to nature, te taiō, te ao marama, the light forces, the peace way. It was all done through an ancient alchemy, and very, very in tune with nature, very in tune with self, very in tune with everything. They could actually control nature. So I'm learning this more and more because I'm writing not writing, but like part of a story unfolding, and I feel like I'm writing the script for it actually as I'm going along, because I'm writing the story in pictorial form. So having the imageries that actually speak, that they've actually got a story to share. And the Waitaha believe that we are all living standing waters, and of course water is the plasma. We're 99% water. Some people have got the whirlpool going in their systems, so they stay stuck in the stagnant waters and they just keep recycling and recycling. And that came through as a bit of an allegory today. And some people are actually working with pure plasma from all the suns, the lineage of suns, and the 12-strand DNA, and all the activations that are going on in the body. And they are truly embodying what it means to be quantum beings that are here to flip the switch on this reality field. So working with the real dreaming, the time before time. And so this is what Waitaha understood, that we're not actually separate from water, we're not separate from nature, we are the living standing waters, and every thought, every emotion, every intention creates this wave of water through our body, and it's either going to stagnate and stay in a whirlpool, and we can get sucked in through te wheke as well, through the emotional body. That's what has actually psyoped a lot of people. It's in the mind, it's in the emotions, it's in the somatic intelligence. They freeze, they fawn, they go into fight, they go into flight. So this is the alchemy of getting to truly know thyself, know thy wounds, know the stuff that's happened from eons ago, what's happened in this present lifetime. And a lot of us have actually experienced a lot of trauma, but it's how we deal with it that makes the difference. Some people use it as an opportunity for clearing and rising, and they see it as a gift, and it's the gold that gets created from basically the compost, like it's shiny shit that can be turned into something really powerful and alchemical, and then others still stay in that wound and have to go through cycles constantly in the process of healing, and they never get out of that. They just stay there, stuck. So this is what the living standing waters are actually inviting, for us to be these living po na mu, pillars of mu. And to do that, we have to really be willing to actually acknowledge the shadow, accept the shadow, work with that wheel of love and forgiveness to constantly bring that circulation into the flow, and then at the end of the day, the greater octave of love and forgiveness is, the Ho'oponopono is powerful, but the acceptance of that experience is the real gold behind it all. Because you wouldn't be experiencing it if your soul did not need that lesson, that experience, so you can truly learn how to be the diamond. And so this is how we restore harmony within ourselves and within the living earth. Because when our hearts are free, when our mind's free, when our emotional body's not carrying all the baggage, we get to have the free-flowing waters that just stream in from the universe and just continue to bring all this newness into our field, into the person that we are choosing to become, the highest version of ourselves, the avatar being with alchemical gifts, because that's the gravitational field of magnetism that we're inviting in. And so the flow is the original state. And I love that Anhata's bringing that up, and it's been a subject for their spiritual collective, because I feel that this is part of the movement, this is the flow, this is the real movement. And it's also a state of consciousness. So when we slow down enough to truly feel the subtle senses and the rhythms of all of life, following the pathways of what's already been done. We don't have to reinvent anything. We don't have to dream up a new protocol that's already in the field, but we have to implement them in our life. Like recently we've been studying the Wawata, which is the ancient maramataka of what Waitaha worked with, what the weaving was in the systems that worked, that were brought into marae, and that enabled deep healing to take place. And I mean, they even had days of celebration of the feminine menses, the day of celebration of the ovulation, because the whole village used to ovulate, the whole village used to menstruate at the same time. And also they had days in there of really good times to plant their gardens, good times to fish, good times to resolve conflict in the whole village. So they would resolve conflict, and there were times of muru where they made accountable all wrongs. They also had days that they actually honoured self-pleasure. So there's actually a day where everybody self-pleasured. And how cool is that? I mean, like self-care taken to the next level. And so there's a lot in these sacred experiences of working with the ancient moon cycles, the one before the hijack, before before the colonization, before the shift, before the change, before the captured waters, and it created coherence in the whole mind, body, soul, beingness, and we become the infinite well, the limitless ocean of possibility when we really start to weave in these spaces. And part of that is that we open up then to the magnetism of the whole cosmos. We then start to really feel the ripple of the field calling in this joyful flow state of natural radiance. So you'll notice that there's a lot of people out there that glow. You can tell in their eyes that they are lit, they're alive, they're living covenants because they are beaming their light. And it's really obvious, like you can't help but walk into a room and and notice that person, or be noticed if you are that person, because it is a je ne sais quoi, a special radiance. Oh, Jenny, yes, you're busy, lady. So yes, this is the week that everything's getting put into alignment for all of the whānau. So if you haven't been contacted yet by your mama bear, your moo mama bear, know that it'll happen soon. Yeah. And Jenny's got, it's her birthday coming up. She's also got really busy life, Master Navigator and all that. Oh, funny. And so going back to the magnetic heart, this is the wisdom of Waitaha. And Waitaha is a state of being. It's actually a frequency, it's a consciousness, and it's a deep honouring of being in right relationship, being in a living relationship with the rivers, the oceans, the frequency of the celestial oceans, because what we see up there in space is frickin' water. It's all mist, and asteroids carry all the waters, and the sun is how we receive most of our waters is actually from the sun. And so also with the seasons and how important they are in giving us the gifts of what Papa Tuanuku needs to do, just as we have our own seasons, and we have a season cycle every month. The lunar calendar will guide us through that. So if anybody wants to know much more and deepen their appreciation of what it means to be in these kinds of relationships, then we do have the Move Foundation course that goes deeply into that. And so that's just, I want to put that in the field so everyone knows that there's deeper learnings in this process if you choose to. So that's a little bit from me, popping down the toko. And and at any time, if anybody has any questions or has got something else to add to the kōrero, then please put your hand up or write in the chat, because we're actually monitoring the chat, and we want to see who's saying what and how we can support you. So kia ora. Oh, you just accepted a friend request, Susie. Well done. See, that's how easy it is. Excellent. Over to you.
Cat stars. Okay, entering the left side of your body is basically your feminine side. So, we can go into that a bit more. So your left side is your feminine body work, and your right side your masculine. So feminine receptive, creating through the whare tangata and the third eye, and then the right side is the projective male. So the feminine can create, but if she hasn't got the masculine side in balance, the Heros Gamos, she can't put it out into reality and make it happen. So that's kind of one way that works. I want to talk about now, I love the Four Winds Society. I did a course with him, actually, a short one. And I love the Peruvian shamanism, because, I did a lot of work with the Kiro elders and stuff. So insights into timelessness and the tools. Have you ever considered that time may not be linear? So we're doing a lot about time lately, right? Because we actually go out of time a lot, and I'll talk a bit more about that later. Yes, you heard that right. We may travel to other dimensions through parallel lives and unwind ancestral helixes to solve unfinished business. So I do. I travel up in time, up and down the timelines. There is no time. So we can go back and we can heal these places and ages of ourselves in multiple dimensions. Living in sacred time can help us to create and anchor a destiny crafted in harmony with spirit outside of the boundaries of linear time. In fact, that's where we have our relationship, and that's where Waitaha had their relationship. As we learn to recognise synchronicities, we also become fully present in each moment, and that's what my kōrero will be about later, about flow, is actually being in the present moment, beyond time. That's where it takes you out of time. So I love that. So ancient shamans found out how to break free from time, where you are stalled by death. The Mayans called it, Balam, which is Balam. The Jaguar priests, and we know someone who carried Jaguar medicine. He was a Huna who learned how to step beyond infinity. And also my twin flame could do that because he trained with the monks, and he knew how to leave his body and everything. They were also the great time trackers of time to come, the dangers and the opportunities. One was the announcement of the dawn of the new human, Homo luminosus. At the turn of the millennium, the shamans understood that time did not go in one direction only, but that it is possible to go back to the past, to change things right now by fixing the past and breaking free of the arrow of time. I knew there was multiple dimensions of time, and that we could step into sacred time. We have the possibility to co-create with spirit, and we can actually meet our future self as well. The future informs us all the time and summons us through synchronicities to take the quantum leap into the future, because there is no future and past. That is the big psyop. We can also heal the present by selecting a different future. That's what we're doing right now. That's what the Galactic Grandmothers of Mu do, and that's what the Mu movement's all about. We're choosing something different now. And we can decide not to be held back by our past. And what if the past and future were just one field? Past and present are one, expansion and contraction one. Time is man-made. There is only this moment now, where past and future is now. And that's pretty potent stuff, right? And so I'll go into it's quite a big kōrero. I call it total absorption. So I'll read it out because I've written it so it's coherent, hopefully. Okay, so total absorption is called flow, a higher state of being. This is with activities you immerse yourself in, where you lose hours of time. Where does your concentration go? What is really happening? Flow, the sacred space beyond time. So I attended a class on Zen doodling, an art form that invites the mind into a quiet rhythm of simple, repetitive patterns. It was there that I heard the word flow spoken in a way that immediately resonated with me. The teacher announced, "You can stop for a cuppa and a snack." No one moved. No one wanted to stop. Heads remained bowed over their paper. Pens continued gliding across the page, and the room had become wrapped in a beautiful silence. Everyone was completely immersed. Everyone was in the flow. And as I watched, a childhood memory came rushing back. I was 9 years old, sitting on the floor at the school drawing a picture, and I've spoken about this before in a different way, and this is during morning tea. I became absorbed in creating. The morning tea bell rang, but I didn't hear it. Every child returned to their class and seat and quietly sat down. I didn't notice them, and I didn't even notice the teacher coming in the room. And I'm like totally in this flow. So suddenly the teacher came, lifted me up from behind, dragged me over to my seat and sat me down. And I always thought, hey, why couldn't you tap me on the shoulder and go, hey, honey, we're back. But she didn't. She seemed to want to humiliate me in some way. Anyway, so I wasn't being naughty. I simply hadn't heard anything. Looking back, I wonder if even at 9 years old, I had entered the state of flow, and there was daydreaming as well. Science described flow as a deep absorption where attention becomes so focused that the awareness of everything fades into the background. Time can seem to disappear. Hours may pass without noticing. We become completely engaged with what we are doing, and our actions begin to feel almost effortless. Researchers suggest that one reason this happiness and why this happens is a process called transient hyperfrontality. What a mouthful, right? And I'm like, so during intense concentration, parts of the prefrontal cortex, the area of the brain involved in self-monitoring, being self-conscious and all that, analysing, planning and constant inner dialogue, the monkey mind, is switched off. It's less active. The voice that continually asks, am I doing this right, begins to fall silent. Instead of thinking about what we are doing, we simply become the doing. Brainwave studies suggest flow is not associated with just one brainwave. It often involves a harmonious blend of alpha and theta brainwaves, which are linked with relaxed awareness, creativity, and intuition, together with bursts of beta or gamma activity when focused thinking or complex problem solving is needed. So instead of the brain working harder, many scientists believe it begins working more effectively, allowing different networks to cooperate with remarkable ease. Flow is accompanied by changes in brain chemistry, and I know Neil can be guilty of flow. He goes off into the state, when he's doing his music. I hope he heard me. Neurochemicals such as dopamine help increase motivation, learning, curiosity, and rewarding feeling that encourages us to continue. But perhaps science has only begun describing the doorway. Many wisdom traditions have spoken about it for years. They call it presence, stillness, and effortless action, union. So these are in deep meditative states that people reach this state of presence. Right? So somewhere we remember it may be a place where the separate self loses its grip and deeper intelligence begins to move through us, a place where intuition becomes clearer than thought, where creativity flows without force, and where time no longer governs our experience. It is the profound contentment of being completely present, the here and the now state. When we are in flow, we are no longer wrestling with life. We are dancing with it. Artists lose themselves in paint. Musicians become one with their instruments, and healers disappear into service. So I know myself, I can be in flow and doing mahi, body mahi, and 3 or 4 hours can disappear. It's like, what? You check the time and you've accidentally been with the client for 3.5 hours. And it's like you'd gone into this no time space. I'm sure you've had that. I know we have in Wānanga. We've had to have our timekeepers because of this. Or you're driving a long distance and suddenly you arrive at your destination and can't really remember driving. You've gone actually into a flow state. And sometimes I've arrived at those places in a shorter amount of time than what I should have. And I did have a kōrero with this about Lake Waikato Moana, where on the rough day, because we went into our light body, we arrived quicker on a rough current than we did on the flat surface. So this is kind of all this, the mind becomes quiet, time dissolves. Perhaps flow is not about escaping ourselves at all. It is timelessness and effortless concentration. So Albert Einstein often spoke of becoming completely absorbed in thought experiments. He described imagination as essential to discovery and would lose himself for hours exploring ideas. And Marie Curie, was it Curie? Curie, worked with extraordinary focus in her laboratory, often forgetting meals and the passing of time while in these heightened states. And Tesla, same with him, he was completely in these altered states of concentration. I say this is our normal state. We've been hijacked. And when we go into the state of flow, that is our normal state, and that's where we're happy. I call it the joy molecule. And that when we're happiest, right? When we're engrossed in these creative endeavors. And so that's what actually there was, his name was Mahali, hang on, Csikszentmihalyi, who coined the modern psychological term flow, spent decades interviewing artists, surgeons, musicians, scientists, and chess masters to equal total absorption. The grandmother who's doing the weaving, the surgeon, the child, they all enter the state of flow, and that's their happy place. That's where we need to be more often, and that's how we can bypass time.
Love it, sister.
Yeah.
I also call that the makura, the time before time. And
Yeah.
before the hijack, before we got taken down this route where we had to stick to some kind of system that calculated things for us and put restrictions on us. But yeah, I've been in that flow state so much. I remember there was a time when I did a lot of art, I did a lot of painting, and I was getting ready for exhibitions and stuff, and I would go for days. Yeah. Yeah, I'd go for days and days without, well, really concentrating on anything other than that. I just went into a complete flow state. And I remember doing that multiple times when I was really into the piece that I was working on, you know, whether it be sculpture or paintings or whatever I was into it hard. And there was no negotiation with it, and I'd miss meals, and I'd, you know, like be dying to go to the bathroom, and I'd still want to just carry on, but you know, there were limits to it, so we had to kind of pace it. But now I'm noticing that when I know I've got a lot of appointments or something like that, and I just start working with the field. And I slow time down so I can get so much done in a really short space of time. I freaked myself out last week when I had an interview with Jenny, and I had to be home by 11:11 to do our interview, and I had about 10 things on a list to do, but I managed to slow down time, walk the dog, do a full shop, go to the bank, go to the post office, go, you know, like there was just so many things I managed to achieve, and I didn't get into town till at least 9:45. So it was like, how the frickin' heck, it took me 10 minutes to do a full grocery shop. And I'm like, normally that takes me an hour. So I really don't understand it, but you know, like I was really happy to know that I could be in that flow. And so, you know, that flow state is our natural state. It's what we were born to. and we can be in that so much if we choose it, when we're doing our passion and never working a day in our life, because essentially we don't work if we're doing what we love. That's not work. That's in flow. That's how we have to create now. We have to be in the flow to truly get the gold. And like even the flow with the waters and the plasma and all that, like I'm taking that down not just from the metaphysical and the psychological and the the that psychological, that psycho-spiritual, all the way down into the physical tinana, into the tangible, into that arm of Te Wheke that's taking it inwards into the body temple, and so that we can receive it as a somatic embrace, so that we can truly receive the alchemical experience of that. And that's also very protective, so we can't get messed with when we're working in that field and in that state. And even like the Po Ngā Mu that our Waitaha ancestors treasured so much, I sort of thought, well, why did they treasure that so much? And then upon doing a bit of research, I realised that it's actually made it's the first stone. So it's actually made out of 144 million year old petrified waters, from all the plates coming together, and the mu, when it was, first forming, when land was first forming, it was there, right there in the ice fields forming with it. So it's actually petrified water and minerals all put together that's compressed, and it was so valued. It was worth more than gold. Of course, it's all been distorted and, hijacked, and now gold's more important and more value. But, there was a time when it held way higher value. And, because of this sacred first light water frequency that had solidified into form. And, and it also carries the sacred library of all the intelligence combined. So that's why wearing Po Ngā Mu is so important. And I'm sure most of you have probably got a piece of Po Ngā Mu, and I know Taniwha's got a good piece coming if you haven't already received it. So and actually the most rare Po Ngā Mu is the blue Po Ngā Mu, because that is that's the Hine Aotea. Yeah, kia ora. Kia ora, that's the Hine Aotea, and the Hine Aotea carries the frequencies of the blue diamond. So, this is really inviting humanity to, come back into that original nature. Lauren, did you want to say something?
Yeah, kia ora, that's awesome. Yeah, I was just gonna name drop my masculine and partner is a Po Ngā Mu carver here, and also works with the Hine Aotea, so tabu vai tamihana. He can help you out to sasapo if you need one. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yay.
Excellent. Thank you, sister. Beautiful. Yeah, nice. And we're really on track with the becoming like water. That is the invitation. We have to flow. This is all about the waters now. And I mean, even the biggest psyop since 2020 is all about the waters. And so, it's honouring them. It's making us sustainable, because essentially we are the land. We are the whenua. We're made of Papatōnuku. Every element that's in her is in us. All the waters are in us. We carry as much water as what she does. And of course, she's got waters beneath as well that we don't see. She's made out of 99% water as well, because there's oceans beneath oceans, there's rivers beneath rivers, there's aquifers. We're a water planet. It's an eternal substance. It can never be destroyed. Neither can salt. So those are the two eternal substances on this planet. Well, probably on every other planet too, I'm imagining. Perhaps not all planets are water planets, but we are. And so this is also the time to acknowledge the changing waters that are within us. So, not only to acknowledge like the changing energies that emotions carry. Like I don't feel like emotions need to be suppressed or bypassed. This isn't spiritual bypassing. We need to honor it all. But when we do go through those like waves, because life is a wave. We're on a wave, and that's also about the waters. So when we're on the trough of the wave, when we're ready to climb again, that is influencing our chemistry. So we actually, it's an opportunity to really gather our waters, alchemize our waters, and create coherence with them so that we can get back up on that wave for the next rung of the super wave that's coming, because we're in a super wave right now, and it's just all the currents coming in. We're going to get the ebbs and the flows, but it's every time we have a trough, we're coming up a little bit higher on the octave. So yeah, and I'm sure you've all noticed that there's been a big evolution, right? Our consciousness is evolving, and we're having the sacred soul midi that's happening inside of us, with our waters continuously being cleansed and refined. And yeah, the whole thing is it's all happening within us. It's becoming more peaceful each time we go on one of these waves. We land in a place of a deeper understanding of who we actually are as a quantum being, as the avatar version of who we're choosing to be, because everything is a choice. So don't ever forget that we are making choice points every time, every second of every single day, who we are choosing to be. So one of the things that Earl Nightingale talks about is choosing the most incredible person that you know and aspire to be like them, or embrace their persona so you can be that version of yourself. So, getting better and better at all our relationships, at the way we navigate our lives, at the way we're thinking, because, the thinking mind's hugely influencing the waters. So it's a continual chemistry that needs to take place, and we can be super alchemical, quantum, imagineering, really magnetic, but we can also be repelling as well, and have that other end of the spectrum. So yeah, be careful. Be more like water and flow with life is really the messaging here, and trust the current, because that's the presence and that's the 0 point. Let your heart lead, and when your waters are free, your light naturally just beams through those still waters, just beams in, and it's like diamonds refracting from the surface of the water of the calm lake, and your very presence then can become the medicine for the world. Yeah, because that's important, that we become medicine for each other, and not just remind each other of all the pain and the suffering and the drama and the trauma, and keep cycling into Wheke's whirlpool and share that as your messaging, because that's not helpful for anybody. Yes, it's nice to witness people going through their pain body, and when they are constantly in their pain body and they've never ever risen from that pain body and they're just stuck, that's, and they're actually, they, no matter what you say or do or advice given, then they still stay there, then, it's time to walk away, but also do it with love, and we can only take a horse to water, but we can't make it drink. Water is the theme. So, I want to talk about time, but I'll hand it over to Anhara to tune into the next wave that she has before I share a little bit about time.
Yeah, I was talking about the pain body. So when people have been in the pain body a long time, what happens is they get mixed up in the collective pain body, and then they have like a real dumping, and they can't kind of maneuver, themselves out of it because they've got all this other stuff flowing in, all this energy, and sometimes dark energy coming up in that collective pain body, and need people to help them navigate out of it, right? And that's what we do. But also, that's why we follow Dr. Rangimarie Rose Perry and different other ones, because they have the values, and I carry the turtle medicine and the clan mother teachings, which is an offering too in the moon movement. And that's what it's all about, because without values, you can't lead the people, right? So, it's so important. I was looking at a little article about Robert Edward Grant, and we were actually having a little kōrero about him the other day, weren't we? And his the architect work. But this little one here is life is a lucid dream that you can control right now. So when you realise that you're in the dream and that you have had control of the dream all along, you just didn't know how you could control that dream. So it's through your emotional strength, through your subconscious mind, your dream projected to the outer world around you is just this, and it's called inverse. It's what's inside of you that's being projected on the outside of you. The things that you're not aware of about yourself are being projected all around you. They manifest in the form of people. They manifest in the form of experiences. They manifest in the form of light and sound and matter and geometry and everything else. And we are now waking up to the fact that we are in a simulation, and so we're in a waking dream. That's what a lot of the ancient scholars talk about, that in the Vedics, the waking dream, and that we can actually wake up to the fact and realize it, and we will start to play the game successfully when we realize that we are in control of the dream and we can change it. And that's what we're doing again with the moon movement. We've actually cottoned onto it, and we've become empowered, right? And so that's that. And I did actually follow a guru once, and he said, life is a game, play it. But we've got to play it with mana. And we've got to play it with the highest of values and the highest of outcome for humanity. And with intensity is actually quite a good thing, even though people hate it, So at the point of maximum tension, great power is released. There is often destruction as new energy is unleashed. And that's what happens. It's like when you break down all that shit that you're not, and you're just like, inside that mushy, inside the chrysalis, all mushy, and yet that is the potential for life. And something alchemical is already growing, is already manifesting into our evolution. So do not, they're like the three states. The Swamis and that talk about the three states, or the Shiva, creation, destruction, and then also sustaining creation. And it happens all the time in nature. You look tired, sis. I just saw you have a little mini yawn.
Oh, shush. No, I'm not
Oh, that
tired.
oh, that's real anyway. But so yeah, it's interesting stuff, right? Yeah, but that's all I've got to say for now. Putting down the Vaco.
Oh, yeah, kia ora. Yeah, I think it's just lack of oxygen in this room, to be honest. It got really hot in here before, and anyway, all good. Uh, I love what you're saying, and I really like Robert Edward Grant's work as well. I think he's quite a genius, and he's got a lot of amazing codes to share. I know some people have really got put off him because he has got the architect, and they're all like, AI, like shoot, shoot, pew, pew, pew. But poor guy. He's super intelligent, and he's got it sussed. And so a lot of these ancient ways of being, like being in the living dream, and being in I guess some people call it a simulated reality field as well, that we're actually the main actor in the play that we're choosing. So we chose to be here, and essentially there's only one of us here. We're all twin flames to each other. Essentially, we're all twin flaming, and we are twin flaming with ourselves as well. And tonight I just had a look at Venus when I was going into the temple, and I had a kōrero with her. I had a kanohi te kanohi with her, and invited her into my heart, into my being, and I feel like I'm representing Papatūānuku with her as her twin flame. So that's how I want to look at Venus. Now that's how I want to look at the whole world, that I'm actually a planet, that I'm representing this planet for peace, for walking the Aiyo peace trail, for walking the beauty way. And this is how we do it. So we own it, this is because we can, this is the gift. Like, let's not play small anymore. Let's own the whole thing, right? And so, the time before time that I talk about so often takes us into that minefield, and it takes us into that soul field, so that we're in that eternal present. This is the magical child. This is the infinite fractal of the 0 point that we are in. Every time we are in the no time, every time we are choosing to be in our innocence, our joy, our surrender, and our magic, we go into that portal. It's part of who we are. It's actually within us as well. It's actually inside of our hearts, but it's also inside of our womb. So we, at our heart womb, our pū manawa, we have it in all of our manawa, and actually we've got 4 manawa. I know some traditions say we have 3: pū manawa, the rā manawa, and the whatu manawa. But I was shown, the mu frequency showed me that we also have the una manawa. And that's something that not many people know about. It's an ancient mu gate. So the pū manawa is in the puku, it's in the whare tangata, it's in the womb. The rā manawa is our heart. It's our heart, which is also connected to our power centre, our power gate. The una manawa is in our higher heart and throat. So this is the one that connects with Hine Aotea. She's like the gate opener. Kia ora, Lauren. We are made of magical stardust, black matter, void energy. We're so powerful. Gosh, aren't we amazing? High five to you all. Hey. And so this Una Manawa is the gateway to Sirius. It takes us through to the Mother Sun. And this is ancient mystery school knowledge as well. So it's also known as the Darth Doorway, or the Death Doorway. I don't call it death, I call it Darth, or funeral. because we should be having fun when people cross over, not all gloomy and dark and, you know, having tangi wai, but celebrating their life. And so we're having multiple Darths because, you know, if we're zero pointing all the time, and I feel this is perhaps how we really go through that black hole, that void, is through this whole energetic portal right here, the Una Manawa, Ra Manawa connection, like those two gateways, and also imagine if we had all of them all happening at the same time. Oh my god, it's next level. And just with the Waitaha, you've got, you know, I wanted to speak into this because last week I shared a little bit about one of the Waitaha elders that lived in the 1800s, and I just happened to see a photograph of this particular elder, and I was quite shocked when I saw it. I was like, is this for real? Did this tohunga, like, he had engraved tattoos, like really deep engraved, but he also had an elongated skull and sort of like cinnamon hair with curls. Straight away I thought of the skulls of Paracas, and I have spoken about this before, but I've been told another story about him, and that tohunga actually kept getting evicted from villages because the colonization had come in full force, and, you know, they had the whole British constabulary here in Aotearoa that were like actually had their cannons and their guns and everything. They were going and burning villages. I mean, it's a bit of a dark story, but this is how resilient and how incredible this tohunga was. So he was the last peace chief, and he accepted that that was happening. And all of his whānau, all his family the whole village was like up in arms and like, no, we need to fight, we need to do this. And he's like, no, this is not the Waitaha way. This is not the A-I-O. We need, it's Chief Te Mai Haroa. Yeah, he's the last peace chief. Or, you know, one of them. Certainly one of the last, ones of that era. And very, very powerful. And so when he was moving his village, all the village whānau, they were walking across this bridge, and by then, you know, it was quite heavily colonised. There was railway tracks, and there was, you know, all sorts of houses that were being built, lands being claimed, lands being carved up and sold off to people. And he was going across a railway line which had a bridge, and was moving the entire village through this fast track to the other side. And a train started coming, and he stood there in front of the train and held it, put his hand up, and the train and everything was not moving, but the wheels were spinning and it just stayed there in one place. So he was able to just like use his superpowers, and this is how alchemical we are as well. I'm sure that there's been many examples of near-death experiences or whatever that many of us have had, and miracles have happened where it's like, how did that just happen? You know, like, we are so protected because, you know, sometimes we have roles that we have to play. And even though that was kind of not very nice at all, that they were moved on from village to village, they did eventually find a nice quiet place to settle where they weren't being disturbed. And so, you know, this is how we change the time. It's through consciousness expressing itself through will and also, I guess, knowing the points of creation that we can tap into. And so the emergence of time is pretty interesting as well, because I've heard that some tohunga, some huna have actually said that the reason why they don't want any more creation happening, they don't want us to continue to create, because we need to go into the next world. And in order to do that, we have to let go of time. And time is what allows us to create in this reality, because it creates the sacred geometry of creation, the creation field itself. And yet there's a whole other quantum consciousness that knows that creation can happen without time, that happens exponentially in the whole field of no time. And so this is the evolution that feels like we're experiencing, and that we have to wrap our heads around, because it's quite a big subject, going into that quantum time field, quantum gravity. And it's still something that hasn't been proven by science yet, but I feel that we're on the cusp of being able to experience that. That feels like the next piece. And beyond, so there is, beyond the experience of linear time, there are many mystics who, oh my gosh, time's marching on. I'm just looking at the time and thinking, holy moly, we have spoken quite a bit. And this is how time happens in these spaces. We sped time up. I love it. We did. Yeah, and so, this time that we're in now is really important, because, this is the time that the tohungas speak of, where the knowledge and the wisdom and the oral traditions and the gnosis and the stuff that is passed down generationally is the gold. It's the juice that we need to start weaving back. And this is how we come into our second sight, and that all of our gifts are coming online now, and I feel it's really connected to the plasma. And also we're getting lots and lots of solar flares, lots of hydrogen coming from the mother sun and our own Tamanui Te Rā sun. So there's definitely a lot going on in the field. And when we do walk the peace way, when we really embody the white rainbow and become pure, we be purified, because this is what I see the white as being, like we're getting a huge purification down there in Dunedin. So kia ora to all you Dunedinites down there. It's there's a big clearing going on, and the union, the white union of all colours into harmonious frequency and harmonious geometry. It is the pathway of peace. It's balance, it's wholeness, and it's resurrection of ourself into a new form. So it is homoluminosity. And so every act of kindness, every act of love, every act of integrity strengthens those traits and those trails that we're here to walk. We're here to walk the peace way, the beauty way, the pathway of joy and song and dance. And we're here to have fun too, we can't be all serious. So this is what we're about to do. We're going to come into a little bit of kani shortly, but before that I have a card to read. Anhara, do you have any words that you'd like to share before we move on?
Yeah, Pounamu, man, it is truly living records. I know every Pounamu I've had has actually taken me on a special journey. And I had one once, it was quite long, and it was Tohunga named it Hiniwai Ora. And the Hiniwai Ora was all about the waters. Anyway, I journeyed with it and I did this deep healing of the emotional body. And I was always going into these big tangi wais, having a cry and clearing, clearing, clearing. And then I decided, okay, that's it, honey Waiora, you're going to haere you. And I gifted it to another wahine. She had the same experience. But before I actually gifted it, I took it to the ocean. I buried it in the sand just to clear anything from it. Yeah, and she actually she went on a huge journey with it as well, an emotional journey. That's what it was. And I know in my whānau years ago, my uncles talked about pounamu they had that had an American Indian chief inside it, inside the actual pounamu, the stone. So they are the stone libraries and carry the wisdom and the knowledge, yeah. Anyway, so that's about it for me.
Oh, kia
Mm.
ora. Kia ora. Yeah, and the other way, I got shown how to clear the pounamu if you're gifting it to somebody. And you can buy your own pounamu, by the way. That's not true tikanga, that you had to buy it as a gift for somebody else. You can actually buy your own. And what the best protocol is when you get a new pounamu, or even when you're gifting it to somebody, is to cleanse it in where the sea and the river meet, and then you hang it on a tree that has a certain frequency that you're wanting to imbue, like a guardian type energy perhaps, or whatever that person you feel would help to strengthen them, or even yourself. And then after 3 days of hanging on a tree, you then wear it for that person and imbue it with, and think of them, just wear it overnight and think of them and what you want it, the gift that you want to bring through to that pounamu. And then after you've imbued it with your frequency, your modi, then you gift it. Or, if you wanted to gift it to yourself, then you just start wearing it and just think of the highest light. But and it changes colour when you wear it. So the more you wear it, the more you'll notice the change in the colours. But it's a powerful stone, and it's a super powerful symbol for, even the white pounamu, which is quite rare. And, I feel that we are essentially, the inside is the white pounamu. We've got layers of pounamu in us. And we're definitely the living pillars of Mu, and becoming more and more as we deepen into the sacredness of this mahi that we're doing. So the card that Spirit had asked me to share today is the Pūrere the Pūrere Hua card. And I really wanted to read this today because, that has been a bit of an allegory today as we worked with the different frequencies of, the transformation taking place, and we are going from the chrysalis to the butterfly. And also, I think, Rick, you and I spoke about this today as well. So that's quite an important tohu right now. Pūrere Hua, card number 42. Transcendence, rainbow, joy, magic. You are the one who is becoming the magic. The Pūrere Hua has landed into your field with silken grace and seismic significance. This is no ordinary message. This is a soul summoning. You who have received this card are the sacred chrysalis of your own becoming. You have walked the earth as a caterpillar, inching your way through density, digesting lifetimes of experiences, carrying ancestral layers in your very skin, and now you are dissolving into divine preparation. The liquid mush inside the cocoon is your elixir of creation. An alchemy of the ancient of days returned, a rebirth unlike anything your former self could imagine. The butterfly is not quite an upgrade of the caterpillar, it is an entirely new consciousness. And this is what you are birthing now. When the shell cracks, the wings unfold slowly, carefully, each wing a brushstroke of destiny. The rainbow warrior prophecy of Mu, a call to rise in colour, in light, in truth, in peace. The blue butterfly, sacred to Mother Mary, walks with you too, carrying the fragrance of the rose and the path of grace. This is your funeral of limitation, the death of old identities, and the celebration of your light body flight into freedom. Pūrerehua comes as a bearer of joy, of lightness, of sacred purpose. Knowing her wings are temporary, she lives each moment as eternity, seeking the nectar of beauty, offering pollination to the next cycle of life. You too are being asked to live in intention, with trust, with magic. Dream with the wind, laugh with your soul. Remember that true power is gentle, and true transformation is unrecognizable until it is revealed. You are not who you were, and you never will be again. This is your arrival. And the sound seed activation is Pūrerehua aroha rangi marama wai ko au te aniwa niwa. And the karakia invocation, e te pūrerehua arahina au ki te maramatanga. Ka rere au hei tohu mō te ao hau. O butterfly, guide me to clarity. I fly as a sign for the new world. And so it is, and so it is. So far now, getting ready, because we are going to have a little kani before we close out with, and you know, we've got a little bit of a transmission before we close to seal the space with sacred intention. So getting ready. Whoa, making sure that I've got the right settings for that. Yep, sweet as. And I'm just going to turn off my background so I can dance with you all. And whoa. Okay, whānau, here we go. We are just going to turn this up.
The waters remember. The rivers remember. Before the clocks. Before the counting. Before the time hijack. There was only flow. The white rainbow rises. The living waters call us home. Mu remembers. I made of rivers, oceans wide, a living sea I hold inside. My blood's a river, bright and free, a plasma dance inside of me. The mountains sing, the forest glows. Love creates. Kote waierene, kote aroha etune, te aniwani wamae tiaho, kaho kitato kite au, kaore hewa, erere noa, emanawa kota hietoa, ko te moana, ko au te awa, ayo, ayo, kaora rawa. The waters flow eternally. Love awakens endlessly. The white rainbow shines so bright, returning us to living light. No time remains, we simply flow. One heart together starts to glow. I am the ocean, I am the stream. Ayo! We live the dream. The captured waters melt away. The queen sea calls us home today. No fear can hold this heart of mine. I'm dancing in eternal time. No clouds can steal the soul's own song. The presence where we've been all along. The waving heartbeat move as one. The golden age has now begun. Punamo holds Earth's ancient sea. First light in crystal memory. Deep living waters carved in stone. A million lifetimes calling home. The plasma rises through my veins, releasing every fear and pain. New thoughts awaken, clear and bright. The heart becomes a field of light. Feel the water, feel the heartbeat, feel the river, feel the sea. Flow time, no time, so time. Now feel the white rainbow rising inside. Everything glows. I'm on my bed, I'm standing strong. One living tribe, where all belong. Together now we rise as one. Like rivers flow into the sun. The children laugh, the elders sing. The waters bless everything. The white rainbow has come to be. One heart, one tribe, one living sea. Kote waierene, kote aroha etune, te aniwani wamae tiaho, kaho kitato kite au, kaore hewa, erere noa, emanawa kota hietoa, ko te moana, ko au te awa, ayo, ayo, kaora rawa. Ayo, 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 kaora rawa. Become the river, become the plasma, become the white rainbow. No time, only flow. One heart, one water, one moon. Ayo, ayo, kaora rawa. Give it a new.
Woo! There was an explosive ending. Oh my goddess. Awesome, Whānau. Lovely moves. Thank you. Oh wow. Yes, was a bit cold in the temple tonight. I felt like I needed to come in here because I want to stay warm. I don't want to get a cold. Definitely don't want to get cold. And a couple of times I went in there recently and it was so cold. So it's nice to be in the warm embrace of the lovely warm lounge. Anyway, bringing in an embodiment ritual, just closing down the space and placing one hand on your heart and one hand on your womb or spirit womb, and closing your eyes, just allowing your breath to soften and deepen, feeling the waters within your body becoming still, becoming clear. And as you take some deep conscious breaths, holding and releasing, letting go of anything that's keeping you from being fully present in the here and the now, coming into this clear luminosity in your field, and just feeling the waters coming down from all of the alignments of the suns beyond the suns, and all that hydrogen for the sacred waters. And imagine yourself stepping beyond the rush of clocks and schedules, beyond yesterday and tomorrow, and into the time before there was even time, before the clocks, right at the precipice of creation itself, the eternal presence. And just sense yourself entering the still point at the center of your heart. Where infinite possibility already exists. And right here, there's nothing to chase, nothing to force, nothing to become. There is only presence. There is only love. And there is a living intelligence of creation flowing through you right now. Feel that super wave pouring through your field. As you softly speak to yourself and say and affirm, I am living water. I am living plasma. My heart is coherent. My waters are free. I return to the eternal now and return to myself. I am in flow. As you say these words, feel the ripple of the currents of plasma light pouring through you, coming through your whole body, channeled in from all the suns, down through your crown, down through your whole body temple, activating those 12 strands, going down through the roots of your feet, the soles of your feet, all the way down into the diamond heart of Papatūānuku. And at the same time feel the infinite fractal of your heart, that 0 point void, magnetics, the toroidal field fully activated here as the streaming upgrades you into full flow. Just feel those currents pouring through you. Kia ora. Receive, receive, receive. And allow your heart to become the gravitational center of your awareness. Feel time soften into presence. Feel your waters remembering the original song. And when you're ready, gently opening your eyes and carrying this timeless flow into every step, into every conversation, and into every day creation. And now, just closing with a karakia. E te atua, ona atua o te wai, i ngā tupuna. Bless these living waters. May our hearts remain open, our minds clear, and our community continue to grow in aroha, in love, in manaakitanga, sacred service to each other, and in unity. May we become one river flowing in service to the earth and to one another. May our lives become prayers of peace. Aio. Peace, love, joy, and truth. Haumie, hui.
Kai kie.
Yeah.
Nike.
Ikea.
Oh my god, that freaking woke us all up. Jeez. I realised how I left my speaker on real loud after the kani. So yeah, I got a good blast from the taiki, yeah. But hey, beautiful. Thank you so much, everybody. What a wonderful gathering tonight, and thank you all for showing up. Have a wonderful day, Mary and Bridgine. It's the beginning of your day over there, so yeah, nice one, sisters. Enjoy your day. And thank you, everybody. Have a lovely evening and sweet dreams. Keep on bringing the sacred flow into full
Flow, flow.
activation. Keep the
It's a
flow.
thing.
Mwah.
Yeah.
Mā te wā.
Batiwa.
Matewa.
Matewa, pomarie.
Marie.
Stay safe and warm.
The waters remember. The rivers remember. Before the clocks, before the counting, before the time hijack, there was only flow. The white rainbow rises. The living waters call us home. Mu remembers. I made of rivers, oceans wide, a living sea I hold inside. My blood's a river, bright and free, a plasma dance inside of me. The mountains sing, the forest glow, the ancient tides still ebb and flow. The weight I have always known, the heart's the place we're guided home. Flow, don't fight, glow your light, feel the wave, love creates. Kote waiere kote aroha etune, te aniwani wama etiaho, kaho kitato kite au, kaore hewa, terere noa, e manawa kota hietoa, ko te moana, ko au te awa, ayo, ayo, kaora raua. The waters flow eternally. Love awakens endlessly. The white rainbow shines so bright, returning us to living light. No time remains, we simply flow. One heart together starts to glow. I am the ocean, I am the stream. We live the dream. The captured waters melt away. The queen sea calls us home today. No fear can hold this heart of mine. I'm dancing in eternal time. No clocks can steal the soul's own song. The presence where we've been all along. The wave and heartbeat move as one. The golden age has now begun. Punamo holds Earth's ancient sea. First light in crystal memory. Deep living waters carved in stone. A million lifetimes calling home. The plasma rises through my veins, releasing every fear and pain. New thoughts awaken, clear and bright. The heart becomes a field of light. Feel the water, feel the heartbeat, feel the river, feel the sea. Flow time, no time, so time now. Feel the white rainbow rising inside. Everything glows. Our mama bears are standing strong. One living tribe, we're all belong. Together now we rise as one. Like rivers flow into the sun. The children laugh, the elders sing. The waters bless everything. The white rainbow has come to be. One heart, one tribe, one living sea. Kote waiere kote aroha etune, te aniwani wama etiaho, kaho kitato kite au, kaore hewa, terere noa, e manawa kota hietoa, ko te moana, ko au te awa, ayo, ayo, kaora raua. plasma become the white rainbow.